Hey guys, Marcus here from BlackOvis. I'm here with John Barklow, the Senior Product Line Manager of SITKA GEAR. We're here in Bozeman, Montana. And at BlackOvis, we're all about solid hunting gear. That's kind of our mantra. It's something that we try and live by. We try and only sell products that are the best of the best. And we have truly come to appreciate Sitka and the development and the design of their products for this very reason. And we wanted to have a conversation to really talk about Sitka and understand that development, that design a little bit better, how intentional you guys are in creating not just gear that meets deadlines, but gear that performs time and time again at the highest level.
I think the first thing people should know is that, the people on the team, the development team, we're all end users. Mm-hmm. Like we're all hunters. So we're just, quite frankly, selfishly trying to make gear that we want, right? and our buddies want. And that, we want that to work for us because we're out there just like everybody else. That's the first thing. The second thing is that, we're trying to solve problems for hunters. And sometimes we're trying to solve problems for hunters that they don't even know they have a problem yet. We really dig in. This is kind of all we do. We sit around and we talk about issues or, a hunt we had over the weekend or a hunt we had last year and this one problem we had. And then, come to find out that I think a lot of people are having that problem. And then when you start to say, hey, can we work on that? Can we solve that? And sometimes we come up with an answer. Sometimes we don't. Yep. So that just kind of goes in the hopper and, maybe that'll come back out a couple years later when either a new technology comes around or somebody gets a brilliant idea in the middle of the night. You never know where the next great idea is going to come from. It could come from the hunting industry. Quite frankly, most of the good ideas recently don't come from the hunting industry. They come from outside the hunting industry. They can come from anywhere and anybody. The cool thing about Sitka is we're open to the conversation. I've made some of the craziest things ever. I'll share with you, I actually literally made a pair of Gore-Tex shorts one time because I was, one, trying to prove a point, and two, trying to solve a very specific problem. And I said, well, instead of looking at it from this direction, let's look at it from this direction, completely opposite. And maybe Gore-Tex shorts is the answer, right? It ended up not being the answer, but we went ahead and pursued that and saw what we could do. But we're constantly getting ideas. We're constantly getting things built as prototypes. If people were to show up at some of the local trailheads around here at 4 or 5 in the morning, over the last 7 years, you just see me wearing the goofiest things possible. I have a pair of pants with one leg is one color and the other leg is the other color, and I've got a hoodie on, and they're 2 different colors, and maybe it could be the top and bottom are 2 different colors, because we're testing textiles on a given day for a given problem set, that's the perfect way to do it is what we call split garments. So like we're constantly just trying and iterating, and some things get through the funnel, and then we really start to focus on the commercialization process. But, depending on the product, so this dew point jacket here, I think this took me 3 years to finally land on the laminate that, we thought was the perfect combination of lightweight, durability, stretch, and after we figured that out, then we put it in the design you see here.
And if I can ask, how many different examples did you go through in that process?
Well, I've got 3 in my barn, 3 different colors. That's how I know they're different iterations. I've got 3 in my barn before we ever got to, what we would call salesman samples or Proto 3, and that's 1 before production. So 5 maybe?
Wow.
Something like that. And this was an interesting one because, the people I used to field test it, when I needed to get it back because I wanted to send it off to the lab, it was getting great results from the field, but sometimes there's things that the lab can show you that human beings couldn't perceive. And to the person, they're like, begrudgingly gave it back to me. Of course, that's the deal, right? But every one of them said, I want it back. And I said, that tells me that we're on to something. And,
Yeah.
and that's when I knew that we were getting close to kind of finalizing the dew point. You know, with this Kelvin Aerolite bag, this was kind of a combination of a few things. So the insulation was kind of an interesting thing, this Primaloft cross-core insulation. We saw that, we looked at it, we said, man, there's got to be something we can do with this. There's just too much performance here to not, you know, bring this to market. And so actually it started with, hey, let's put it in a sleeping bag. There's a lot of attributes we think, you know, are positive for the hunter. And then we started building out the design that you see here with the Kelvin Aerolite bag. I want to tell you that this, from kind of inception to market, was 4 years, something like that. There's products I've worked on that have never seen the market and may never see the market. There's a product or a series of products I'm working on right now that it's been 5 years. You know, although you want, as a kind of a creator, you want to bring things to market and you want to, you know, help hunters solve problems. Sometimes things just aren't ready, and we're never forced to rush anything to market if it's not, you know, ready to be done. So, you know, the Equinox, that's you know, that just launched here, and you know, that insect shield and that textile married with insect shield, like, and then the pant that goes with it, like there was a lot of insect bites that not me, but the team went through to find, you know, the perfect combination of what worked. And of course, knowing what didn't work is just as important. So, you know, I've made a bold statement years ago, and I'll stand behind it. I still stand behind it. And I say, we have created products in Sitka that the world's not ready to see yet. And the reason I say that is it's either because the technology is so advanced that people probably wouldn't perceive the value with the cost associated with it, right? So it's going to cost a lot of money, but it's going to solve this crazy thing, but maybe we're just not, the market's not ready for it yet. And those are the hardest ones for me because, you know, I can't talk about them and I can't show anybody and I can't sit on them. But a lot of what we do, you know, at some point in time comes to market, and, you know, it's spring of 2024 right now. We're already 2.5 years ahead in our developments on that's probably the earliest. And like I said, some things are 3-4 years out before they may ever see the light of day.
And that's one thing I've noticed in my conversations with you and other product line managers here, that, I mean, you guys are seriously working on products years down the road right now. And I mean, you're just testing them out in this phase. I mean, I haven't heard anything about dates, about pushing it. It's just different phases of development for those products. They can be current, they can be totally new, but you're creating gear that performs, and that's going to perform unlike anything else that you already have. And I mean, even going back to this new bag, I guess what you said earlier about you have technology and products that the world isn't ready to see. The Aerolite series that just came out, the jackets, I mean, twice the compressibility, twice the heat to weight ratio. For a lot of people, perception is reality. So they see that and they're like, there's no way that can keep me warm. Goes back to what you're saying, like the technology, we might just not be ready for it, but you guys are working on it.
Yeah, we're definitely working on it. I remember when I was working on, I think it was for 2017 when Subalpine launched, we brought out the Ascent series. So this hot weather, you know, system for hunting. I didn't get the idea, me and, you know, my kind of partner in crime, Eric, we didn't get the idea from hunting, and we knew what the problem set was. But so we started looking around the world at other people who were doing active things in the heat and what they were doing to solve their issues. And there was, I remember, there's a race in northern Africa, I believe, across one of the big deserts, and it's like damn near a marathon a day over the course of multiple days. And I'm like, what are they wearing? What are those fabrics? How are they managing sun? What are they wearing for gaiters to keep sand out? What are they doing for hats? You know, do they use ventilation? Are they using mesh? How do they not get sunburned? All those things to try to come up with that. And then slowly over time, we build some protos, we try it, we send them to Africa for some hunts and different places, some high altitude climbs where the UV was, you know, a big issue. And then eventually it trickled down to being on somebody, you know, to go on a mule deer hunt in Colorado. But you know, where globally the ideas came from to kind of create just a product that seemingly seems so simple, took a lot of time to kind of bring to market.
Well, it's cool. I think it's awesome how much development goes into these products. I mean, it's clear that you guys are super intentional with every piece and material, textile that goes into every product you have. But it's worth knowing as a consumer, as a buyer, as someone that's going to be using this gear. Hey, I want to know that the gear I'm using is something that has been tested. It's been built to perform, not just to sell. And I mean, it's awesome for us at BlackOvis because we are proud to stand by solid hunting gear, and SITKA is just that. It is gear that we don't just sell, but that we believe in and that we use personally. All of us over here, we use SITKA gear amongst others, but it's a brand and a product that we believe in. And it's really cool to hear a bit about the story and how you guys go about developing and designing these products. So thank you for a little bit of insight there.
Yeah, well, thanks for letting me share, because it's not a story that's often told.
Absolutely. If you have any other questions about the design and development, let us know below. Give us a call. We'd love to chat. Thanks, John.
Thanks.